this is David.
Hi, David.
Hi, Jeff.
I'm Jeff.
And
what are we
now
doing?
We're doing the worst part of all of the DLCs.
Yes, we are.
We're doing the worst part of Dark Souls 2, actually.
We are doing the worst part of all Dark Souls games.
Mm-hmm. And
this place is so crappy
Yes.
that I never beat the boss we're about to see.
Yep.
Never soloed it. I co-opted with somebody on their account, my brother, and never came back. Didn't want to. It is horrible, and it is garbage.
Yes.
And it is frustrating to boot.
I would like to thank you for marking my perfectly legitimate health bar and perfectly legitimate soul counter.
Mm-hmm. I felt like it was necessary because since you're doing a perfectly legitimate run, that there was no like in-game option, for those UI elements, and I need to patch them in myself. So.
Right. Well, thank you for that.
Here's the first reason that this is horrible. Well,
Yep.
the first one is the fact that it's a constant blizzard.
Yeah. But the Sleipnirs don't help.
Mm-hmm.
Sleipnir? I always say it wrong.
Lightning horses.
Yeah, lightning horses.
There are each one of the spawn points for them. There can be 15 of them, and if you kill them 15 times, they will not come back.
Yay.
But there's about 4 or 5 different spawn points, and you have to go through the entire wasteland every time you want to try and fight the boss, which is the worst because it is just 2 of the thing we saw in the last video.
Yep. So, something to mention. Somebody said in a comment earlier that is not the Throne Defender shield. That is the Drake Keeper Great Shield. My bad. I recorded these months ago. All right, so this boss looks real familiar. As Jeff said, it's the one we fought just a second ago. So, yeah.
It was really good. It was a pretty good dodge there. Didn't even get hit.
Yep. Not even taking damage. It's what happens when you have however many hold on, 999 million souls, and you have the Lothric sword. It just does that.
So when they're half dead,
second one comes in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. This is not a game that's made for multiple target boss fights.
Nope.
It would be better if let's describe ways it could be better.
Okay, it could be better if you had 1 or 2 NPCs in the area guaranteed to help you.
It would be better if there was some sort of geometry in the room that you could use to like zone the kitties to different areas or block their magic spam. It would be better if the magic attacks for the other cat, reacted with the cat, so maybe they could hurt each other, or they blocked each other's shots. Or if this whole thing didn't exist at all.
Or if they had decided to make 3 bosses for this DLC. Instead of we'll just use the same boss twice, and my health went down for a split second there.
Really? Because it seems like you dodged it pretty well.
Yeah, well. Also, that's the new thing the kitties get, is they power up.
So now they do more damage, and they take less damage. So
great.
It's great. This is another boss fight that is not made for heavy weapons like the one you're using.
Right, you should be using a rapier.
Yep. You should be using a rapier with lightning resin and the Leo ring.
And you'll kill them real quick.
Yep. You can kill them before the second one spawns in. That's kind of how the speedruns do it. Right.
And it's a lazy boss. It's a poorly designed boss, and that's why I don't like it.
Yeah, it is at the end of the worst area, and there's 0 reward for it.
Yep. You get a couple souls that I don't even remember what you do with.
Victory. But hey, you beat it on the first try, and you didn't even get hit.
Yep. Yes. So, what am I even...
I don't know.
I'm using a repair powder. I only have 82 left.
Surprised you have so few.
I know. So, part of my perfectly legitimate run, or perfectly legitimate strategy, sometimes causes the game to crash if I have it active all the time. So I don't. So I just reactivate it when things get a little, low.
I see. Apparently there's a teleport that takes you away. I didn't even know that. As I said, never got here. Never did this.
Oh, I got here once with you. The cat showed up and I was like, oh, this is kind of lazy, but all right. We got it halfway dead, and the second one showed up and we both died. And I was like, well, is there a reason to beat them?
Nope, there's not.
So I never tried to beat them again without a perfectly legitimate character. So,
and to be fair, the third bosses for each of the other 2 DLCs are also very lazy, intentionally so. Kind of mentioned it before because they're the free bosses when the DLCs were released. Because you didn't have to own the DLC to be summoned into this area for this particular DLC.
Right.
So it was accessible to anyone right away, but that doesn't make any difference now that it's called the First Sin Edition and stuff like that, where everything's just included.
Mm-hmm. It's disappointing in its own way, but I will say the next boss we're going to go through is legitimately my favorite boss fight in the series up to that point. Mm-hmm. For Spectacle. My favorite boss fight to fight is still Artorias, but Manus is a lot of fun too.
I'd say Artorias is more fun. Manus is frustrating.
The sense of accomplishment I felt when I finally beat Manus is pretty high up there. But the next boss we're gonna fight is the reason why I decided to do Ilium Lois first. Just because it's my favorite little spectacle from the whole series, and I had only run the DLC once when I started prepping for the legitimate guides. So if you liked what we've done and you would like to see more of it more often,
more perfectly legitimate boss runs for the DLC of Dark Souls 2, or perfectly legitimate runs of other things. I don't know.
Well, I mean, our runs of Dark Souls 3 are like actually legitimate, not perfectly, but actually.
Not perfectly legitimate, but actually legitimate, sure.
Feel free to go to our Patreon, and that's where you can give us pledge to give us so much per month, and it makes it to where we can dedicate more time to these things, and make it a full-time gig eventually. That'd be cool, and then we'd have videos out significantly more often. Not to say that we put them out every week, so it's like we're not.
Yeah, we do. Maybe, it depends on If I could do it full time, I guess I'd see what I could handle.
Right. Well, neither of us would be doing that pesky thing called a job. I could practice a little less.
It's true. I'm on vacation right now. It's quite nice.
I don't know what that's like.
I slept until like 2, and then I rendered out this video we just watched, and then I had pancakes and chicken fried steak, which is just a block away. Also, unlimited root beer float.
What?
They have, if it's a root beer float, but it's free refills.
So
I had a few of those, and then wandered back and was like, it's about 4:30 or so, and then checked my phone. I was like, oh, it's Dark Souls time.
Yep. Oh, man. Yeah, my food today was, dinner was a fried avocado that was full of chicken and cheese, which was great.
That doesn't sound so bad.
No, that was good. But otherwise, my day involved 2 hours of being bad at piano and an hour and a half of being bad at drums. Hopefully, in a couple months, I'll be mediocre at those two things.
Mm-hmm. And once you're mediocre, you can pretty much just do anything on drums.
Right, yeah. Yeah, especially in a church setting.
Say 90% of music that you can play on the drums, you can get away with. Yeah, it's asymptotic.
Yeah,
the amount of effort and then skill, but it's also the usefulness of said skills falls off dramatically too.
Right, as long as you can start and stop at the same tempo, you're pretty good.
Yeah, you pretty much have it unlocked. Like, I guess you can do more complicated sounding things, but that's not always good.
Right. It has to be in service of the music and all that. But I have absolutely fired drummers, or at least not hired them for additional gigs because they can't keep a steady tempo.
It is pretty important.
You'd think that'd be the big thing they teach, but it's not.
You'd hope so.
It's like, yeah, man, your stick heights are super consistent and you got all the tones right, but we went up 20 BPM over the course of the song. That's not cool.
If you want to learn how to play in tempo, I'd recommend playing with like an indie dance band that has a recorded track that you play to, because if you're not on tempo, everything falls apart because the recorded track keeps going.
Right. Did that ever happen with Glassnost?
No.
Right, because you're good.
Yeah, I'm a professional.
You are. That's true. You're one of 3 drummers that I know. If I say, "Hey, play this gig," you will start and stop at the same tempo on all the songs.
Yeah, for the most part.
I mean, there's human variation in there,
of course. Yes, interpretation.
Right. Yes. But and that's not to say I only know 3 drummers. It's just I know a bunch of drummers. It's just a lot of them are loosey-goosey with their tempos.
All right. This has been Drummer Chat. We'll come back with another episode of Perfectly Legitimate Boss Run, which will be the best boss fight in Dark Souls 2, perhaps in all of Dark Souls. Maybe. Certainly in Dark Souls 2.
Yeah. It is fantastic for spectacle. It is super, super good at that. And it's a fun fight.
Mm-hmm. And has some specific conditions for it, I guess.
Right, for it to be more fun. Yeah. That's true.
The end.
Dark Souls.
There it is.
There it is.